We'd repeat what Grandma had said with great seriousness. We'd repeat, too, what our mother whispered to our father in the kitchen. She was talking up a storm today. She's been talking to herself more and more. Our father was reluctant to admit that Grandma had been showing signs of dementia, claiming she'd always talked to herself. She'd always recited her prayers and incantations aloud with that same distracted air. On that day, we heard Grandma's voice fading into the distance amid all the clucking and bird song, as though her prayers and chants, meaningless to us, had been chased off by our own excited panting triggered by the wicked thing we were about to do. Belonicia squeezed herself under the bed and pulled out the suitcase. The peccary hide covering the rough, earthen floor bunched up beneath her body. I opened the suitcase now lying before our eyes. I pulled out a few pieces of old clothing, mostly threadbare, and others still quite vibrant and made brighter by the sunlight of that dry day, a light I could never accurately describe. Among the disordered clothes lay something mysterious, covered with a filthy rag, and it attracted us like a precious stone. I was the one who undid the knot, listening for Grandma's voice. I saw Belonicia's eyes catch the metal's radiance, as though she'd been presented with a gift still glowing from the forge. I picked up the knife, which was neither particularly large nor small, and my sister asked if she could hold it. I wouldn't let her. I wanted to examine it first. I sniffed the blade. It didn't have the rank odor of the other objects in my grandmother's suitcase. It wasn't stained or scratched. At that moment, what I wanted was to study my grandmother's secret in depth, not squander the chance to discover the meaning of the gleaming blade in my hands. I saw part of my face reflected back at me, as if in a mirror, and I saw the reflection of my sister's face behind mine. Belonicia tried to wrench the knife from my hand, but I jerked it backward. "Let me hold it, Bibiana." "Just wait," I said. It was then that I put the metal in my mouth. So intense was my desire to taste it. And just a moment later, the knife was snatched violently away. My puzzled eyes locked on those of Belonicia, who was slipping the blade into her own mouth. Along with the lingering taste of metal came the flavor of hot blood that began to run from a corner of my half-opened lips and drip from my chin. The blood further darkened the grimy, blotted cloth that had covered the knife. Belonicia pulled the blade from her mouth, too, then brought her other hand up, as if trying to hold something in. Her lips reddened, and I wasn't sure if it was from the excitement of tasting the silver blade or from wounding herself, for she was also bleeding. I swallowed as much blood as I could. My sister was wiping her mouth frantically with her hand, her eyes squinting with tears as she tried to stand the pain. I heard my grandmother's slow steps approach. Then she called out to me, to Zeze, Domingas, and Belonicia. "Bibiana, can't you see the potatoes are burning?" I became aware of a smell of burnt potatoes, mingling with the smell of metal and the blood wetting our dresses. There was a curtain separating Grandma Donnana's room from the kitchen, and when she opened it, I'd already picked up the knife from the floor and wrapped it haphazardly with the soggy cloth. But I'd not yet pushed the leather suitcase back under the bed. I saw my grandmother's startled eyes before her heavy hands struck the side of my head and Belonicia's in turn. I heard her ask what we were doing there, why her suitcase was out from under the bed, where did all that blood come from. "Say something," she demanded, threatening to tear out our tongues. Little did she know that one of us was holding her tongue in her hand. 2. Our parents returned from the fields to find Grandma out of her mind, plunging